Welcome to the Sports Angle on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. I have an exciting announcement to make for the Sports Angle on PRConnectionsRadio.com. Now, next week, May 27th, there is going to be a special 2-hour episode here of the Sports Angle on PR Connections Radio. I'm going to be bringing on a special guest, someone who's very knowledgeable about the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to be bringing them on. We're going to talk about the 2022 Las Vegas Raiders here on the show. We're going to break down the offseason acquisitions, talk a little bit about the NFL draft, but more importantly, we're going to talk about the upcoming schedule with the 2022 Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to talk about, is this team a playoff team? Is this team not a playoff team? There's going to be a lot of great back and forth conversation on next week's episode of the Sports Angle on PR Connections Radio with your host, Ian Rachiele. Really excited to bring this guy on. He's very knowledgeable. He knows Raiders Nation. He is Raiders Nation. And it's going to be a great show next week. So I wanted to give you that update for all the people watching around the world, that next week's episode on May 27th at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern is going to be a fantastic show, and I'm going to be promoting the heck out of it as the week during the week and as the week is leading up to it. Also, the Vegas Golden Knights with their head coach update. The Vegas Golden Knights with them looking for their third head coach in franchise history. I'm also going to be bringing on somebody next week for the second hour of the show. And we're going to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights. And if they've hired a head coach by that point, we'll break down that head coach. We'll talk about the pros. We'll talk about the cons, strengths, weaknesses, you name it. But if they haven't named a coach by then, my guest and I, when we talk about the Vegas Golden Knights in the second hour of the show on May 27th, we will break down the candidates. We'll talk about Joel Quenneville. We'll talk about Barry Trotz. We'll talk about Paul Maurice. There's a lot of great head coaches that are in the free agent market in the NHL. So the person I'm bringing on next week to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights, they're very knowledgeable as well. There's somebody that I trust about their knowledge, their expertise when it comes to the Vegas Golden Knights. That's going to be a great show as well. But that is for next week. So with us having a few minutes here talking about Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Raiders, they traded Bryan Edwards away. He's with the Atlanta Falcons now. They got a 5th-round pick back. They have signed some undrafted free agents. That's going to be good news for Las Vegas. We'll talk more about that in next week's episode. But the Raiders is next week. The Vegas Golden Knights is next week. But something that's happening right now here in Las Vegas, shout out to the WNBA and give a shout out to the Las Vegas Aces out there at the Michelob Ultra Arena. The Las Vegas Aces are 5-1 on the young WNBA season. It has been a fantastic start for Las Vegas. Their brand new head coach in Becky Hammon, the same Becky Hammon who has her name retired and really her only jersey retired in Las Vegas Aces history, and that is the number 25 of said Becky Hammon. I love what she's doing with the Las Vegas Aces. She is doing one heck of a job out there in the WNBA, so I wanted to give a quick shout-out to the Las Vegas Aces. They are 5-1 on the young 2022 WNBA season, so I got to give props to the Las Vegas Aces. And also, let's give those props to the Las Vegas Aviators, the AAA affiliate of the Oakland Athletics here in Las Vegas. Now, it has been announced that the 2022 AAA Championship weekend is going to be held here in Las Vegas. That's right. The best team in AAA International, the best team in AAA Pacific, they will be here for AAA championship weekend, and you are going to see the best of the best. And that is going to be Friday, September 30th, 7:05 p.m. at Las Vegas Ballpark. You can get tickets for as low as $15 for that game. So that was exciting news that came out of Las Vegas very recently. And that's the fact that the Las Vegas Ballpark, or more importantly, the Las Vegas Aviators, are going to be hosting the 2022 AAA Championship. You've also had the news report that came out about the Vegas Golden Knights and their AAA affiliate Henderson Silver Knights, and more importantly, who they're going to have underneath them. It has been announced a couple of days ago that the Henderson Silver Knights, they have, the Henderson Silver Knights, the Vegas Golden Knights, they are welcome and proud to bring into the Vegas Golden Knights family their AA affiliate. And I will say, I looked at the original logo. I saw the unveiling of the brand new team out there in the ECHL. And I will admit that the Savannah Ghost Pirates is not only one of the best names in hockey, but they got one of the best logos as well. So I just wanted to give that quick shout out. Wanted to welcome the Savannah Ghost Pirates, the AA affiliate of the Vegas Golden Knights. Welcome them to the Vegas Golden Knights family. Wanted to give a shout out to the Las Vegas Aces, 5-1 on the WNBA season, and talk about the brand new update that Las Vegas is going to be the home of AAA championship here in 2022. So, for next week's show, we have a great show planned for you. Your host, Ian Rachiele. We are going to be having a special guest come on to discuss the Las Vegas Raiders, talk about everything Raiders Nation related, and that's going to be in the first hour. And then the second hour of the show next week on May 27th at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, we are going to discuss the Vegas Golden Knights. We're going to bring in a guest on as well to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights, talk about head coaching, and maybe some trades the Vegas Golden Knights can make this offseason. And lastly, for all the people watching here around the world, go to prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. There is a lot of great content on PR Connections Radio. We have the power. You've got Voices of Humanity. There is all this great content on prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. So if you watch this show, I highly recommend you go out and watch the other shows on prconnectionsradio.com. Defenders of Finance. There's plenty of great shows on this network, and I highly recommend you go watch them all. So I wanted to do this quick video for all the people watching around the world, give you an update and give you a heads up about a special show that is planned for next Friday, May 27th at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. And that is the fact that I'm bringing on a special guest from Raiders Nation to talk about the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'm also going to be bringing on a guest to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights in the second hour. So, once again, May 27th, 2022. Mark down your calendar, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Your host, Ian Rachiele, the sports angle on prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. Got a special show planned. Going to be almost a 2-hour show if everything goes as well as it's planned. And I will say, once again, watch all the shows on prconnectionsradio.com. Support the network. Support all the creators of this PR Connections Radio. And if you want to follow all the social medias at PR Connections Radio, and if you want to support the sports angle on PR Connections Radio, follow us on social media at Sports Angle on PR. Until next time, have a great weekend, and so long.